Ex-KWS Board of Trustees Chairperson Dr. Richard Leakey has blamed Tourism and Wildlife Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala for the death of 11 rhinos that had been moved from Nairobi and Nakuru to the Tsavo East Rhino Sanctuary. Leakey accused CS Balala of a lack of foresight for failing to plan early on how the rhinos will adapt to their new home. But in a rejoinder, CS Balala says the translocation of 14 rhinos was approved at a board meeting in October last year, and which Dr. Leakey also attended. Leila Mohamed has this report.
The death of a highly endangered rhino species has been termed as a disaster in an industry that depends on wildlife to draw in visitors and foreign exchange. The decision to move the black rhinos from Nairobi and Nakuru to the Tsavo East sanctuary is now being put to question amid concern that their adaptability to their new environment was not considered beforehand. Former KWS board chair Dr. Richard Leakey has faulted the decision to move the rhinos. He says in his 3 years in the board, the translocation proposal came up thrice, but it was shot down all 3 times as there were concerns about the lack of vegetation and the availability of fresh drinking water. Investigations into the death of all 11 rhinos revealed 10 died of dehydration. The survivor was attacked by a lion and later succumbed to his injuries. Leakey expressed concern that since the life of the board ended in April 2018, weighty decisions, particularly touching on discipline and policy, have been left to the Ministry of Tourism, which he says was against existing legislation governing the operations of the KWS.
Tumeamrisha board hapa na chairman yuko hapa.
The CS, however, defended himself against these claims, saying the board approved the translocation of 14 black rhinos in a meeting held on the 31st of October and that Dr. Leakey attended. In the meeting, the CS says it was agreed that the translocation be done subject to the management's proposal to allow time to prepare forage and to ensure that the weather and water salinity levels were acceptable. He says the decision to go on with the translocation was based on the strength of this conditional approval. Balala further says he put together a multi-agency team to investigate the death of the rhinos, which revealed that these conditions had not been fulfilled and had thus taken action against the negligent officers. The CS still blames vet officers from KWS for mismanaging the exercise. The World Wildlife Fund, a major partner and donor that Dr. Leakey says should have been involved in the decision to move the animals, had previously expressed its reservations since the sanctuary where the animals would be moved had not been completed. WWF in a statement now says it recognizes mistakes were made in the operation and as a result, it will be reviewing the findings of the investigations into the rhino deaths and assess their processes as a donor. Leila Mohamed, NTV.